Hi, YouTube. Thanks for watching Steve's CB Radio Addiction. That's my channel, I guess, unless I change it. Tonight we're going to review the Uniden HH401. I never thought I'd be making this video on this particular radio. I'm going to review it. I'm going to show you the power it makes. We'll test it and see what kind of power it makes. Then we're going to go out and do a range test. I'm even going to make one. I never actually set these up and talk to them walkie-talkie to walkie-talkie. But we're going to try that tonight too, and we'll see how we do. Let me tell you why I never thought I'd be doing this HH401. This used to be a $49 radio when everybody else was $100. And I said, my God, a $49 radio doesn't look overly impressive. It doesn't have any features. It's kind of small. It's not very wide. So I looked it up on YouTube, and there was a couple of videos on it, and nothing impressive. There's people that hear static, and they go, hi, how you doing? And they're not talking to anybody, but they think they're talking to somebody, I guess. And I wasn't impressed with it. If you buy a $49 radio, you get a $49 radio. I'm a firm believer in you get what you pay for. So I wasn't going to buy it, and I kept seeing it on eBay, and it went down to $39.99. Hey, for $39.99 maybe. Then I kept watching it. It went to $35, then it went to $33 and $31. Finally, it got to $29.99, free shipping from China, and it came with 9 batteries. It came with the box, and it's brand new, right from China. It had a lanyard. I couldn't figure out where to put this lanyard, so I put it on the belt clip. I don't know if that's where it goes. It came with a DC adapter. This says it recharges the batteries. That when I plug it in, it blinks for a second. I've got rechargeable batteries in it. So it seems like it's charging it, and I think that same port will do it. So at $29.99, I couldn't pass it up. I said, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to show the world how terrible of a radio it is, and then I'll take it out back and I'll blow it up with my shotgun or something. Just get rid of the damn thing, because it's a $29 radio. What do you expect for a $29 radio? Well, guess what? It's not too bad. I kind of like it. It's certainly not the best one I've got, but it works. So that's why I did the walkie-talkie to walkie-talkie. The receive on here, that's not very loud. A lot of my radios, I turn them up and you can hear it. This is as loud as it goes, and it's not very loud. It's a small speaker, and the speaker is very staticky and not very clear. Again, it's a fairly cheap radio, but it did everything I wanted it to do. I'm not shooting it with my shotgun. It got pretty good range, and it did everything I wanted it to do. So how can I beat that? If I had to give somebody a loaner, this is a great loaner. So we're going to go show you the features, then we'll show you the power, and then we'll take it out for a range test, and I'll show you how it works. It's not the cheap radio I thought it was. Okay, the features. I was going to put this on the bench, get my camera, and start showing you all the features. There's nothing on it to really show you. We've got a volume and a squelch, and that's where you turn it on and off. Got a belt clip in the back. You got up and down, channel up and down. You got push to talk. Over here, you've got a speaker mic and a microphone, so you can plug it in, have a lapel mic, which is nice. Some people really like that. 13.8 charger, it says. So I think I can just take this. Actually, I can show you. This is my 13.8 power supply. If I put it in, see I'm on 19, it'll blink out to 9, and now you see little red lights on, and it's showing it charging. So right now we're in charge mode. Now I'll unplug that. These batteries are full. And under that, we've got high and low power. That's it. That's it. Not a lot of options. Now it does have that light when you turn the squelch on. So if you have a signal that comes in really strong, the number will come on. Now on the camera, this thing's blinking back and forth. It looks right now it's a steady 9. It's just the camera. It's a trick of the camera. The camera can't catch how fast this is refreshing. So it looks like it's blinking, but it's not. Anyhow, when the squelch is working and somebody's talking on it, the light stays lit and the squelch is on. But if you turn the squelch up, light goes out, saves your battery. I like that. Saves your battery. It uses 9 batteries, so 9 times 1.5 volts is 13 and a half. 13 and a half volts is a lot of power. So that's not bad. So that's all the features I got. It's a nice looking radio. It doesn't sound overly great. That's my only real complaint so far. And now I'm going to hook up the power test and we'll see how it does on power. Well, I'm just doing the power test. I can't believe it. You know, I took this out and I took it out with 8 of the, what I wanted to do is I wanted to buy every single brand new handheld CB that you could buy in 2024/2025. It's now May of 2025. I wanted to buy all of them. There's about 8 handheld CBs that you can buy in 2025. This was one of them. So like I say, this isn't one I wanted to, this is not a radio I wanted to like, but if I'm going to show the world all 8 or 9 radios and what they can do, I need to have this one in my collection. So I got it, and it performed as good as my other radios, maybe a little better sometimes. So I was very surprised at that. So I just hooked it up. This is the first time I'm ever hooking it up. I am on low power. All right, low power, 2.75. You can see it right here, 2.75. That's unbelievable. I cannot believe 2.75. So let's put it on high power. Most low power is 1 watt, you know. All right, we're on high power. 5.02. Right up in the top here. 5.02. That's unbelievable. That out of probably almost all my walkie-talkies to dead key 5 watts, I may have a new king. I'm going to put a tone on it, and we'll see what kind of peak it does when you talk on it. You get it modulates, goes up a little higher. Now the 10 watts. The next line after the 10 is 20. So you have 10, then the next line is 20, 30, 40, and then you can see the 50. So let's see what we're putting out with a tone. All right, now we're right on the 20. So yeah, we're right about on the 20 watts. 20 watts is unbelievable. I'm going to put it back on low power, and I want to see what this modulates on low power. All right, on low power, wow, even on low power, we're swinging up about 15 watts. Now that digital meter on the top, that kind of jumps all over the place. It's hard to get a correct reading. That's why I need this bottom meter as my peak meter. But I can see 7, 8, 9 on the digital. And let me put it on the high wattage again. I can't believe it. All right. High watts with a tone. If I watch the digital one goes, I don't know, it's all over the board. Pretty tough to tell. But that peak meter, we are at 20 watts. That's absolutely incredible. Now I'm going to plug in. I'm going to take my cigarette lighter, and I'm going to plug it in and see how much of a difference that makes. All right. So just without the tone, 3.6. I'm on high power. So when it's, oh, maybe, you know why? Because it's probably charging the batteries. If I took the batteries out, it would be a better comparison. Yeah, I can actually feel it. Let me take one battery out. All right. Now that I got one battery out, let's see what it does for power. I think before it was kind of robbing the power to charge. Oh, 3.67. Now that's really odd. Did I have it wrong? I don't think so. I think we both saw what it was, and it was pretty darn good. That is very odd. So I'm going to take this cigarette lighted adapter off. All right, now we're just back in the handheld. Okay, no cigarette lighter. 5.02. All my walkie-talkies, when I plug them in the cigarette lighter, they actually perform better, but not this one. This one actually gets less wattage when you plug it in a cigarette lighter. Really strange. Anyhow, 5 watts dead key and almost 20 when you're talking on it. And how that modulation works, a CB radio can only modulate at 100%. 100% is 4 times the dead key. So if this was at 100%, which I guess it is, 4 times 5 would be the 20 watts. Generally, if you go past 16, say it's a 4-watt radio, 4 times 4 would be 16 watts. If you go past 16, all of a sudden the radio sounds terrible. It what they call a splatter box. It doesn't produce a nice, clean, understandable sound, because you can never go past 100% on your modulation. So that is absolutely, and if I talk on it, I just saw 19. I saw 19 at the top, and I'm hovering. You can see right here, the 10 scale, and the next line is 20. I am hovering on that 20 watts. That's incredible. All right. Let me shut this off, and I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we're going to take it out and do the range test. Okay, I just wanted to mention one more thing. So again, I'm not trying to knock this radio. It probably sounded like it. But I just didn't expect anything for $29.99 with free shipping from China and 9 batteries. So it doesn't seem to receive too well. So I don't usually do this because most of my radios, I can tell they receive really well. I wasn't sure that one received. So I took it out. I went 1 mile. I took my Cobra out, and I put an HYS tall antenna on it, and I used the rubber ducky, the tall one. And you know, a long time ago, Amazon sells these, and it's an HYS antenna, same as this, but obviously you can see it looks a lot different. So I called up the company, and I said, "You guys make this black one. What's the difference?" It says right on it, 2700 megahertz. This is for CB band. It says it right on it. This one says, I don't know if you can see it, 27 MHz right on it. So they both say 27 megahertz. I would think this is for a different frequency. But so I sent them an email. They said the only difference is one's black and one's chrome. Well, you can see the difference. This has got a huge coil on the bottom of it. It's much thicker. Everything's a little nicer. This actually wobbles on most of my walkie-talkies. I've bought several of them, and they still always kind of wobble. This one's tight. You put this on any of my handhelds, it's very tight. So tonight, seeing how I was going to do a handheld, talking to a handheld, I went 1 mile from the house, then I went 2 miles from the house. This doesn't work. I mean, it's not, this worked great. This worked fine. This worked somewhat, but this is not meant right. I always wondered why Amazon sells these, and it says it's for CBs, but I don't think it is. So I'll have to look into that. So if you ever see that black one on Amazon, you don't buy the black one. And so again, I went out 1 mile and 2 miles. Now the funny thing is, my pickup truck puts out 10 watts from the factory. and I can talk 15 miles in a circle. That pickup just booms. The mic, I have a power mic on it. It's got a bunch of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff with my pickup. It really works well. So I'm used to the job I was in. I had to get on the radio every time I got to a location and say where I was and so forth. So you're going to hear me say truck 8 on scene. And usually when I do that, whatever I'm talking to just blares it out because the truck's radio is so powerful. Well, this radio was staticky and it was scratchy and it didn't come out very good. The conditions are kind of funny today. There's no skip whatsoever. There's actually very little CB communications going on today. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But at the 1 mile, you could hear me say truck 8 on scene. And at the 2 mile mark, it was so scratchy you could barely pick it up. I could get the handheld, but I really couldn't get my my CB, which is very unlikely. So I don't know what's going on, if it's the my truck radio, which I highly doubt, or this handheld. But again, that handheld, you'll see the video. It's very, very scratchy. So we're going to go out and range test it, and we'll see how we do.
Truck 8 on the scene is 4:48. Hang on. It's 4:47 p.m. 4:47 p.m. Truck 8 on scene. 4:47 and the 1 mile mark, 1 mile location, rubber ducking antenna, trying to talk to the Uniden 401. We'll see if we can get 1 mile on the rubber duck. 4:48. We're on the Cobra, what is it? HH50. We're 1 mile from the 401, from the Uniden 401. We're using a telescoping antenna, seeing if we can get reception. 1 mile from the Uniden Cobra HH50 with the telescoping antenna. This is the chrome one. We'll see if we can get a mile. It's 4:49. Using the Cobra HH50. I'm 1 mile, trying to talk to the Uniden 401 HH. 1 mile from the Uniden HH. We're using the Cobra 50 with black antenna, with black telescoping antenna. We'll see if we can get 1 mile out of it. This is truck 8. We are at the 2 mile location. It is 4:56. 4:56, we are on scene at the 2 mile location. Test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. We're using the pickup radio, President Grant. 4:57, we're at the 2 mile mark. We've got the Chrome 51-inch telescoping antenna on the Cobra HH50. 2 miles away, we're trying to reach the Uniden 401. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. We're trying to reach that Uniden 2 miles away. 4:58, we're 2 miles away. We're talking on the Cobra
Okay, we're doing our first range test. This is the Uniden 401 on low power factory antenna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we'll try high power. Uniden 401 Pro on high power factory antenna. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll just swap out the antennas. Testing the Uniden Pro 401 on low power with the 51-inch high Shrika antenna from 1 mile location. 1 mile location. Now we'll try high power. Wind is something fierce. I hope you can hear me. Testing the Uniden Pro 401 on high power with the 51-inch antenna from 1 mile away from the base station. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Uniden 401 on low power, factory antenna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uniden 401 Pro on high power, factory antenna. 1, 2, 3. Testing the Uniden Pro 401 on low power with the 51-inch high Shrika antenna from the 1 mile location. 1 mile location. Testing the Uniden Pro 401 on high power with the 51-inch antenna from 1 mile away from the base station. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing the Uniden Pro 401 on low power, 2 miles from the house, factory antenna, 1.5 volt, lithium rechargeable batteries. Testing the Uniden Pro 401, 2 miles from the house, factory antenna, high power, 2 miles from the house, range test, high power, 1.5 lithium rechargeable batteries. Testing the Uniden Pro 401, 2 miles from the house on low power with the 51-inch telescoping high Shrika antenna, low power, 1.5 volt batteries. Testing the Uniden Pro 401, 2 miles from the house, high power, using the 51-inch high Shrika antenna and 1.5 rechargeable batteries.
Range test. Testing the Uniden Pro 401 high power 51-inch telescoping antenna. Range test 2 miles from the house. Test 3, 2, 1.
We've got the Uniden 401 Pro factory rubber ducky antenna. We are 3 miles from the house. We are on low power, 1.5 volt batteries. Low power rubber ducky antenna, Pro 401, 3 miles from the house. Uniden Pro 401 range test, 3 miles from the house. Rubber ducky antenna, 3 mile range test, 3 miles from the house. High power, Uniden 401. Uniden 401, 3-mile range test from the house. We're on low power. We've got the 51-inch Hystrika antenna. We're using 1.5 volt rechargeable lithium batteries. 3 miles from the house, lithium batteries, 51-inch antenna on low power. Now we've got the Uniden Pro 401. We are 3 miles from the house. We're on high power. We're using the 51-inch telescoping antenna. 3 miles from the house, high power, 51-inch telescoping antenna. We've got the 1.5 volt lithium rechargeable batteries in this.
Uniden Pro 401, 3 miles from the house, 51-inch Hystrika antenna. We're on low power, 3 miles from the house, 51-inch antenna, 1.5 volt batteries. We're on low power, 3 miles from the house. Uniden Pro 401, 3 miles from the house, high power, 51-inch Hystrika antenna. Pro 401, 3 miles from the house, 51-inch Hystrika antenna, high power. Now we're using the Uniden Pro 401, 401 walkie-talkie. We're on low power, 3 miles from the house. We're using the 51-inch Hystrika antenna. Uniden Pro 401, 3-mile range test from the house. We're on low power. We've got the 51-inch Hystrika antenna. We're using the 1.5 volt rechargeable lithium batteries. 3 miles from the house, lithium batteries, 51-inch antenna on low power. Now we've got the Uniden Pro 401. We are 3 miles from the house. We're on high power. We're using the 51-inch telescoping antenna, 3 miles from the house. High power, 51-inch telescoping antenna. We've got the 1.5 volt lithium rechargeable battery.
Uniden 401, range test, 3.5 miles from the house. We're on low power with the rubber ducky antenna. Don't expect much, but 3.5 miles from the house, low power, Uniden 401. Uniden 401, range test, 3.5 miles from the house, high power, rubber ducky antenna. 3.5 miles from the house, high power, Uniden 401. Uniden Pro 401. We are 3.5 miles from the house. We are on low power. We're using the Hystrika 51-inch antenna. 3.5 miles from the house, low power. We've got the Uniden Pro 401 Hystrika 51-inch antenna. We're on high power. We're 3.1 3.5 miles from the house. 3.5 miles from the house. High Shrika antenna, high power. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Testing. We're testing the Uniden 401 at 3.5 miles out. It's 11:10 p.m. Uniden 401 Pro, 3.5 miles. I've got the telescoping 51-inch antenna, 3.5 miles out. Uniden 401, 3.5 miles out. Test. Testing the Uniden 401 Pro. Testing the Uniden 401 Pro, 3.5 miles away from the base station. We're on high power. We've got the 51-inch telescoping high Shrika antenna. Test. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 10:41. 401 Pro. 401 Pro, 11 meters down, high power, 4 miles up. Testing 1, 2, 3, 1. Testing. 401 Pro, 4 miles out, 11 meters down. It's 10:44. We're testing the Uniden 401 out at 4 miles. We've got the 51-inch telescoping high Shrika antenna. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Test. Again, we're at the 4-mile mark. 51-inch telescoping antenna. High power. Uniden 401 Pro. Test.
Okay, I'm back from the range test. Yeah, it worked. Now I took 9 of these and I did them all the same time. All 9, all the radios you can buy in 2025, I took all 9 of them out so the conditions are the same. So I tested them the same location, the same place, the same everything, the same time of night, the same time of day. And I went out 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Couldn't do anything to 5. I couldn't do anything to 4.5. Well, I didn't, anyhow. But the 3.5, every one of my radios made it 3.5. It was hard to hear. It was a very, very busy day when I did it. I did it Memorial Day weekend, May 27th, when I did this. So there was just hundreds of people talking. You'll see me do it a couple of times because every time I'm trying to do the test, I can hear somebody talking. So I know they're talking over me. So I figured if I did it twice, maybe I could get one shot. So again, everybody's talking on top of me. So the 1 mile worked great. 2 miles was fine. 3 miles, I could hear it. And I'm really impressed to get 3 miles on the day I had. It was incredibly windy, unbelievable. You're gonna hear the wind going through. It was just that's the day my tripod blew over, smashed my phone to smithereens. So that's the day I did it, but that's when I did the test. It did make 3.5. So every single one of my radios did 3.5 miles, except for this Uniden. The Uniden HH401 Pro didn't make the 3.5. I can hear it way in the background, but I can't even tell if it was really the Uniden, because I usually say this is the Uniden 401. I could just hear a little bit of my voice and I couldn't make out anything else. So I was kind of disappointed that all the other radios didn't make the 3.5, that made the 3.5 miles mark, but this one didn't. So I said, well, I'm going to go out when the conditions are a little better. So I went out at 11 o'clock at night. You'll see I actually changed my radio because I went out 6 months later. It takes me a long time to get a video going. So you'll see I actually have, this one says QT60 in the bottom. The one I did it 6 months ago or whatever said 5555. Anyhow, I went out at 11 o'clock at night. This did 3.5 miles. So I got that I have that in the range test video. And then I went out 4 miles. And I wasn't sure. This thing did 4 miles on the rubber ducky. On the rubber duck antenna, 4 miles from my base station to 4 miles back and forth. I couldn't believe it. Very good. Very impressed. So this is a radio I kind of wanted to hate. And I guess I don't really hate it anymore. So if you can get yourself... Now, when I bought them, they were like $49.99 on Amazon. They're no longer that way. They've gone skyrocketed. I think they're $59 or $69. But for the longest time, they were selling them for $39. Amazon used to sell them for $39. I guess they were having a hard time getting rid of them. After I make this video, and I show everybody this thing's dead key in 5 watts and swinging up to 20, I think they'll be selling a few more. But anyhow, this is the radio I wanted to hate, and I don't hate it. It's pretty impressive. I appreciate you watching me. I hope you learned something tonight. Thanks for watching me. I do appreciate it. Have a good day.